Trigg. Well, you're in the Hall of Fame now.
Yeah.
And I got a couple questions for you for our fans, and I thought it was really nice to have you. So you started your first fight in 1997, right? Well, that was your first professional one?
Sure.
I just want to know.
No one's really sure when I started, because when I started, it was still illegal in 48 states. So a lot of the fights, it was becoming illegal in states. And every time I'd go and make weight, there'd be a so I'd make weight on Friday afternoon. And then Friday night, they'd be in a meeting with the local magistrate to try to figure out, is this thing legal or not? And I actually had made weight, had been there, had flown across the country, had gotten in, and then the fight got canceled. And that happened a lot. So I'm not sure. I graduated college in 96. So it was the end of 96, beginning of 97 when I first took a fight. That was official, but not sure when that exactly was. But sometime in that area, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it says 97, I think, when I looked it up. So who knows, though?
Go with that.
What in today's organization, what do you think the biggest change would be? Like, a lot has changed since when you first got into UFC to now. What do you think the biggest thing would be? What made it grow?
What I think happened to make it grow?
Yeah.
So obviously the biggest thing is the Spike TV show when they had Tough on there, the first episode of the season, Bonner and Griffin. That fight absolutely put MMA as a whole onto the map. So it really was that fight that kind of brought the casual fan, the first wave of casual fan into it. Now we have a lot of casual fans now, obviously, because it's just gotten so much bigger. But I never dreamed back in 98, 99 it'd be this big. Like, I never thought it'd be this big. I knew it'd be a big sport, but I didn't realize it'd be as big as it is now. Like, there was no way that you could even fathom. We didn't even think there'd be women's weight classes. You know,
that's crazy.
There was just we had one girl we trained with, kickboxer, and I wouldn't train with her. I wouldn't have anything to do with her because there's a girl. I don't want to sit around and pick up a girl. And then we did a Shark Tank kickboxing, and it's just like whenever it's time, the next person jumps in. It's not in front of you. Hey, it could be from the side, it could be from behind, it could be from wherever. So you never know where the next strike is coming from. So you have to be really aware. I turned around and she threw a 1-2. I kind of slipped and dipped a little bit, blocked it and slipped. And then threw a light, because I'm like, oh, now it's a girl. So I threw an uppercut and a cross, and she slipped my, because I'm left-handed, she slipped my cross, kicked me with her left foot in my liver, and I literally had to call time. I'm like, I can't deal with this. So that's how Gina Carano and I became friends.
Oh, wow.
She literally kicked me in the liver. I was like, oh, okay, well, this girl's worthy of training with now. And that changed my attitude of how women should be. And then years later, obviously, Gina becomes one of the first, and you get Ronda Rousey, and now you're in a whole new. You can pick 5 girls that you can say right now that are absolute studs. They're beating everybody's ass. It's just what it is. Like, we never thought that would ever happen.
No.
When we were back then. There's just no way.
And now we're getting even fight of the year. So I don't know if you've seen Joanna and Weili Zhang. Like, that was. Yeah. Of
course I watched that. Any fight fan that is a casual fan had to watch that fight. I'm a hard fan, so yeah, I saw that thing. I've seen it.
I do personally think Joanna won it, but I was a little upset because I've been watching Joanna since she was doing her Muay Thai stuff. I love Joanna, so I thought she definitely won that fight. Hopefully she gets another title shot in the future. A rematch would be great.
I think a rematch was going to happen because they like Joanna, and she's good for the sport. She's good for women's division, and it was such an epic fight. You got to have it go again. You just have to.
Absolutely, I agree with that. You did. I was questionable of this to ask you this question, but you did a stint with TNA. I was just curious. Would you ever want to do something else, maybe with WWE or AEW? Is that something you would do?
I just did something with Impact back in October. So dip in and out. So my former wrestling coach, pro wrestling coach, mind you, Scott D'Amore is the vice president for Impact. So he had this gimmick he wanted to run, and he asked me if I would do it. I did a couple of different. I did a house show. I did 2 tapings, and I did a pay-per-view. And yeah, I like it. What I'm doing right now, and what I see the pay is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot more pro wrestling. There's a lot more TV than there was. We basically had two shows. You had TNA and you had WWE, and that was it, right? That's all you had. And now we have all these different stations. You've got, I mean, hell, in Las Vegas, they run a promotion. Well, you used to, obviously not right now because of the COVID lockdown, but they run like a weekly promotion. And you see like Stephen Bonner in there. You see Kyra Venture in there. You see all these local fighters in there doing a pro wrestling shtick. You know, Matt Riddle jumped in there, and then all of a sudden now he's in WWE. And you know, like, so it's there. It's viable. The problem is that my acting career is starting to take off. My stunt career is in a position where it's about to jump to the next level as well. And as a result, for me to take that step back to go to pro wrestling, it would have to be a really good package deal to make it worthwhile, because the amount of money now that I'm starting to make in these other things, you have to go back to the beginning. It's like anything you do new. We've always talked about the 10,000-hour rule. We always talk about it takes 10 years to become a master of anything. Yeah, I've dipped in and out of pro wrestling, but I haven't been consistent with it. I haven't been doing it, you know, constantly this whole time, taking the bumps, taking the bangs, learning the new techniques, watching the new moves, seeing the doing all this stuff. I haven't been doing that. I would have to step back. And I'm not stepping back to year 1, but I'm not stepping back to year 9 either. You know, like I'm stuck down like year 2, year 3, which means the pay is low because my skill level is not that high. And as a result, with that low kind of pay, you know, pro wrestlers honestly don't make that much kind of money. I mean, no. You see that old movie with Mickey Rourke, the wrestler, like that was really opened up a lot of people's eyes. Are like, oh, this is kind of fake. It's like, no, that's actually kind of how it is. Like these guys might make $20 a show. You know, like you're talking about taking a bump, taking a kick to the face. I mean, it's a real impact. It's not a fake impact. It's not camera you'll edit in. I'm getting slapped. Yeah, it's a slap, but I'm getting slapped 15 times in a row. I'm getting drop kick in my jaw 4 times in a row. I got clothesline to make me do that flip. You have to actually make contact. That stuff hurts. It does your body damage. And then for you to pay me $50, $20, sometimes I have to do it for free. You know, you're like, for me right now with my lifestyle, I couldn't do free. So I got to be real. But I would. To answer your question a long way, I would do some pro wrestling, but it has to be a great package deal. Otherwise, I'd be doing offs kind of like I've been doing.
And on that topic, a lot of people at my training, I did some training for wrestling just to kind of see how it was. And they, at the end of the show, they said everyone has to take one of the slaps across the chest, and it did not feel fun. So
it's not fun at all. You know, it hurts. And when when AJ Styles just smacked me around with a kendo stick, he's like, "Oh, it's a kendo stick. It's not that bad." I'm like, "Dude, it hurts like when you have to act like you're unconscious." And he's smacking the middle of the back of it. Yeah, like, it sucks.
An interesting topic that a lot of fighters I have not been able to ask them because they haven't done it is you've actually got the chance to do some judging. How is that being a fighter? Is it a totally different aspect, or I just want your point of view on how judging is?
Okay, so for me, I can only speak from my personal experience. I can't get inside the minds of like Mike Bell or Sal D'Amato or Cleary. Like, I don't know how they think about it. Those guys are the best. I mean, we obviously know that Cleary and D'Amato, among a few others, are the best MMA judging. I think they have, I want to say over 400 championship bouts judged. Each of them. So 800 total. You know what I'm saying? Not like, total championship bouts. Not including all the other bouts they've done, just the championship bouts. So those guys are the best at what they do. For me, judging is extremely difficult. It's really hard. You have to be hyper-focused for 5 minutes with a 1-minute break. You cannot blink. You can't yawn. You can't cough. You can't sneeze. Because you think about it, that 1/2 of a second that you sneeze and close your eyes, you're not looking at what's going to fight, is a 3-punch combo. That all you're looking up is you see a little bit of movement in the crowd cheering, but you know what the hell just happened. So who threw what went on? You've really got to be hyper-focused. For me, it's really, really difficult. For me, I enjoy reffing so much more. To me, my real passion is in reffing. But believe me, when the state of California has a show for like Sean Merriman does Lights Out promotions here, Joe Daddy Stevenson does California Extreme Fighting up in the Inland Empire. When you come in as a ref, you're also going to judge. It's just it keeps the cost down because each person costs that promotion money to come work the event. So if you want to have 5 judges, you got to pay 5 judges. If you get 4 judges, you try to get rid of 4 judges. So a lot of times I have to ref judge. So I'll ref like 2 or 3 times. I'll have like 4 or 5 fights I'm judging. So I judge, honestly, almost as much as I ref by the time it's all said and done. Yeah. At the end of the year, you add it together, it's really close, within like 5 or 6 matches, because you have to do so much on these smaller cards that most people, unless they live in Southern California know anything about, that I have as much experience judging. I just don't like it as much as I do reffing. Judging is extremely difficult, and you really have to, and this is one of the things, and I'm actually, John McCarthy and I were talking about this 2 days ago.
Okay.
A lot of the judges and refs right now are in a thing where, and this is what's happening in America as a whole. And so I don't want this to turn into like a political statement or me getting on the side of politics, but this is really what's happening. We're in an era now, and I think this is happening in Canada as well, to be quite honest. It's not what the facts are. It's not how you can improve. It's not taking constructive criticism in an adult manner. It's how does it make you feel? Well, you telling me that I suck as a judge makes me feel bad, so you're at fault. You're wrong, right? So the thing is being a great judge. Like if you talk to Sal Diamano, you talk to Derek Cleary or Mike Bell, as these guys are judging, and Bell also refs as well as here in California. But if you talk to these guys, and you give them constructive criticism, not the stupid junior high school game, but real constructive criticism. Yeah. They take it, they learn it, they sit up straight, like, yep, you're right. I'm gonna do better the next time. I'm gonna fix that problem, make it better the next time. And that's how these guys operate, which makes them the best. So there's a series now of judges and refs out there that are taking a lot of heat from the public, which is great. Okay, we love fans. We love the fact that that you guys. And we're accessible. We're the first sport that was this accessible, where you can get a hold of a reffing, a judge. You could tweet Dana White, he responds. You can tweet Scott Coker, and he responds. Yeah. You're not tweeting Bill Belichick and having him respond. You're not tweeting and forgive me because they suck so bad. I forget the manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs because they're horrible. But
I'm not a Maple Leaf fan at all. I'm Boston all the way, man.
Okay, guys, I was trying to slide one in there. Good job. He's gonna cut me off right now. So they're like, you can't get a hold of that guy. Like, you can't tweet him or the owners. You're not gonna get a hold of the Rogers and tweet them, have them respond. MMA, we're accessible. So because we're accessible, everyone talks to us. Everybody wants to have an opinion. We love that opinion. But the reality of it is, most of the people with opinion don't really understand what they're looking at. They don't really understand what's going on. So when I get that, I'm like, oh yeah, and we'll answer back. You'll see Jason Herzog will answer back a lot of guys on Twitter, and we'll answer back on Instagram. We answer back, and if it's kind of in the realm, but it starts getting mean and hateful, you just kind of skip over it. You got to have thick skin. Just kind of jump over it. But if you get to that person, that Mike Beltran who calls me 3 times a week, hey, what you doing this thing? What you doing this thing? The McCarthy that calls me 3 times a week, hey, why are you in this position during this fight? Why did you score it this way? And if you can't intelligently explain to what you did, then they give you some constructive criticism, and you work on it, and you do better the next time around. There's a lot of guys right now. This is one of the real problems with our judging. Everyone talks about we got to fire all the judges, start all over again. We got to fire all the refs, start all over again. That's not true. The problem is that people are in a position where it doesn't make me feel good because you're yelling at me, so now I'm not going to listen to you. And it's like, well, because he's raising your voice and he's yelling at you, you have to forget, we only get paid at the extreme title fight on pay-per-view in New York City. Understand what has to happen to make this money. Has to be a title fight on pay-per-view in New York. Wow. So UFC's the only one doing that. UFC's the only one doing that. Bellator's their model. It's only the UFC. So you're looking at $2,000 plus a couple, like $2,200 or $2,200. That's the most you're gonna make as a referee, and that's not for one fight. That's for all the fights you ref that night. Because you have the title fight, you get a bigger pay. The rest might make $1,200, $1,500, depending on where we are on the card. That we get less, the lower we are. You get more as you're up higher. That's just how it works. It's here, but we're not talking like thousands of dollars. We're talking hundreds of dollars. So these fighters that we're judging and reffing are going to turn around and make a couple $1 million.
Oh, wow.
And we screw up bad judging, bad reffing, and the wrong guy wins, and the right guy gets screwed. We're talking about a switch sometimes in some of these fights. We're talking about a couple $1 million, which, to most people at home, like, yeah, so what? So he made $1 million instead of making $3 million? Like, is that really, well, yeah, because he's the one getting punched in the face. He's the one that signed the contract. He's the one that prepared himself, or she prepared themselves to go to the fight, and also screwed them over, right? We screwed them over. We can't let that happen. So we're very much, and I can only speak to California because it's where I did most of my training for reffing and judging. Yeah. Every time I walk out of the cage, the rest of us talk to each other, no matter how good or how bad it was. No one's ever perfect. There's always
Yeah.
something you can improve on. So they come out and they talk to us. And I've worked in other jurisdictions. I've been like, what the hell? Like, why are you yelling back at the executive officer? He's your freaking boss right now. For the next 3 hours, he's the boss. Why are you yelling at him when he's trying to tell you this thing? You should like, yes, sir. No, you're right. If I have an intelligent answer, give it back. If I don't, then take my lumps and move on and do on to the next thing. Let it go. And
I agree.
Do the next thing. And that's the biggest issue right now, I think, with judging and reffing in MMA as a whole, worldwide, not just in the States. I'm using the States example because that's where I'm from. But in the world, as I'm seeing these things, as I'm talking to other officials, it's like a lot of it is like you just aren't willing to learn. Like you've done it for so long, you're kind of like, I know what I'm doing. That's not necessarily true because the sport evolved. Remember that time when that one guy from Brazil, tall and skinny, everybody thought he should retire because he got scissor kicked by Rio Chonin over in Pride. He comes over to the UFC, he goes on his long terror, and then all of a sudden he throws this front kick and kicks the guy in the face, and everybody's like, oh, I invented the front kick. And all of a sudden it becomes a whole thing.
Are you talking about Edson Barboza?
No, but Anderson Silva. So he
front
kicked this guy in the face, and all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, I invented the front kick. I taught him that. No. More importantly, now the refs have to be looking for this thing. Because we haven't seen it before. The judges have to be looking for this thing because we hadn't seen it before. We had seen it in karate. We had seen it in Pride. We had not really seen it in MMA. It becomes this thing. All of a sudden now you got twisters and lockdowns and X guards and Z guards and K guards and Y guards. And you got to be looking for that stuff, which was not big when most of these guys that are judging and reffing weren't doing that when they were competing. Respectively to most of fans at home, most the judges and refs have trained in a particular portion of the art. Whether it's a striking portion, a grappling portion, a wrestling portion. They have trained in something. They may not know the entire game. And is it way better than it was 5 years ago? Absolutely. The reffing and judging is so much better than it was 5 years ago.
It's still new, right? So people don't understand that everyone's learning still. Like, a lot of people were saying that the ref for the John Jones-Reyes fight should have been fired. I seen that, and I'm like, I honestly had it for John Jones last 3 rounds. So I don't know why, when it's that close, the judges were getting that much slack. So that's just my opinion on that fight.
Well, the judging on that, the problem is the judging on that entire Texas card was a little weird from the very first fight of the night.
That is true.
So that mentality, if your little sister is always poking in the rib, she's poking in the rib, she's poking in the rib, she's poking in the rib, and then all of a sudden she spills your beer and you flip out, is it really the beer that means you flip out? Or is it 75 times she's poking in the rib with a pencil? You're like, okay, it's a combination. So by the time they got to that final fight, everybody at home is already in an uproar. We're already on guard about the judging. We're already on guard about the reffing. There's a couple screw ups. Now all of a sudden it's a big deal. And it's like, hold on. The whole night has been marred by this. So it wasn't that fight was that much more or that worse than anything else in that entire card, or worse than we've seen that entire month.
It's a build up.
That there was 4 or 5 fights that night that all had the same problem. And it all came together at one. And finally, we're like, no, screw this. And then everyone got nuts.
Yeah. Did you think John Jones won that fight?
No.
No?
No.
I rewatched it like 3 times after. I had actually raised the first time, and I watched it, and I gave John's the last 3. So
you gave it to him when you were watching it the first time, and you gave it to him?
I gave Raise the first time when I was watching it live.
Okay.
And I was more getting behind the hype, like John Jones is going to lose. And then the last 3 I've rewatched, and I think John Jones got it. So.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's the thing about it. Judging is perspective. And when we're at home, we're watching on our couch, we get the best camera angle possible. The director of the truck is telling him camera 2, camera 4, camera 1, he's bouncing around to find the best possible action. The judge?
Yeah.
Oof. Now, yes, the judges do have screens in front of them, so if they can't see, we're looking around, we're trying to get around the pole, we're trying to find the space, we're trying to get by the rest, we're trying to see by the camera guy whose legs are right in our way, we're trying to do all that stuff. Yes, we are absolutely trying to make it happen. And if you can't see, if it's completely blind, you look down at the monitor. But most judges, myself included,
watching
if I have a chance to watch it live, I'm going to watch it live. I don't want to see it on camera. I want to see what's happening in front of me. Because to me, I feel like if I'm just going to watch it on camera, if I'm just going to watch that monitor down in front of me, I might as well just be calling this in from home.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why am I here? It makes no sense because I really have a disadvantaged view that I shouldn't have. A judge has this view. The judge on the other side has this view. The judge over here has this view. And that's what we look at, and that's why there's 3 of us. So all of us see something different. All of us, like, I've gone in the back with Andy Foster, the executive officer for California. I've gone in the back, and he's like, okay, Trigg, explain your judging on this particular fight. Explained it. He's asked the other guys to explain what they saw, and all three of us had a completely different reason of the same round as the reason why a particular fighter won, because that's what we saw. We all saw something different. It's the same fight, but we have three different views of what went on. Right guy won. Right guy got his hand raised, but we all saw something different. It makes you realize, like, yeah, I'm over here judging. I'm seeing something, but these guys may not see anything at all. I might see all the strikes landing. I can see clear as day all the strikes are landing. But the other judge, they're coming right at him. Everything's coming right at him. So all he sees is back and butt. He doesn't see anything happen. What's he going to judge? He sees one guy retreating, one guy moving forward. He doesn't know if they're landing or not. And then when you turn to the side, I was saying, oh, yeah, it's landing. Now I get it. So it's a little subjective. It's a little weird. But, yeah, it's the judging for me is extremely difficult because I don't like being that intensely hyper-focused. For me, it's better reffing because you have to look, okay, he's striking, where'd it land? He's striking, where'd it land? I get to move and shift and move around and move my feet and kind of move my body, and that keeps me a little bit more I feel more comfortable doing that. But I judge when I'm told to judge, I ref when I'm told to ref.
And they need to judge, I think, when the people are off their back, because one of my favorite fighters, I'm pretty sure had a fight with him, is Carlos Condit.
Yep.
And he doesn't have the best takedown defense, but when he gets off, he has really amazing work from the bottom.
Yes.
And I always find that a lot of judges, I'm just using him as an instance.
Of course, yeah.
They will do more work off the bottom, and they should have won that round. Like, they're doing the damaging. They're doing the elbow.
It took a really long time to explain to judges that a guy just got a takedown does nothing.
Yeah.
If you land a guy's guard, what actually happened? I took a guy down, but I landed his guard. What actually happened? Nothing has happened. So that's not a positive or negative for either guy. If that's the only thing that happened throughout the entire round, then it weighs heavily. But there's usually other stuff that goes on that happens throughout the round. So you're able to judge it otherwise. But that, to me, is just a 50-50. So unless that guy passes to a different position, moves around, gets some heavy fight finishing type blows, I can't speak for him. A guy like Carlos Condit is going to close his guard, and he's going to elbow the crap out of you until you're pushing away, trying not to get hit, and he's switching to an armbar because he wants you to push away because he's so long. That's the guy that's winning off his back. That's the guy that's doing more damage. We've seen it happen. Shit, I've seen Joe Riggs win fights completely from his back. He's on his back. This is a guy that wrestled the same junior college I did. Like, he knows how to wrestle, and is on his back all 3 rounds and wins the fight from his back. Is just doing so much damage. He's cutting the guy open, breaking his nose, making his mouthpiece slip out. He's catching him in fight finishing sequences. Like, he's got a deep armbar, he's got a deep triangle, he's doing all sorts of stuff. You're like, that guy was his back the whole time, and he's got blood on him, but it's the other guy's blood dripping down.
It's like what Condit. Look how much damage he did to GSP in their fight.
Yes.
So,
and that's the other thing that people talk about. To beat the champ, you have to beat the champ.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, that's not true.
No.
Every fight, no. John and I get in this argument, McCarthy and I get in this argument quite a bit. You don't ref every fight the same. It's just, you can't ref every fight the same because every fight is different. You have to be different in there. But when you're dealing with a guy like GSP, who you know is going to ground and pound, you know he's going to draw it out, he knows it's going to be a 5-rounder, and you got a guy on top busting him up and splitting him up, you're like, okay, I got to start looking to ask GSP, is he okay? Because he's the one taking the damage. He's the one getting the brain damage. Let me see if he's okay. And people are like so confused when you're asking, GSP's on top though. Why are you asking him? Like, well, Carlos is beating the crap out of him from the bottom. That's why I'm asking him. He's like,
Bisping did some great work against GSP too on the bottom. So
yeah, it was good. Yeah.
I really appreciate the judging aspect because I really wanted to get that point of view out there. So I agree with everything you said.
Everybody, I've seen probably 5 or 6 other former pro fighters go through McCarthy's command course with me, pass the course better than I did with a higher ranking score, and they don't do it anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it's hard. Like, it's hard. Like, to start, and just from the state of California, if you've never refed or judged anywhere before, and you come in, and you're like, hey, I'm just going to start judging, you pass this course before you can start judging. Then you go to the amateur level, and you judge 13, 14 fights a night for $100.
Oh, wow.
And you got to do that to reach 100 bouts.
And that's long days too.
Oh my gosh, you get there. Sometimes we get there at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and we're there till midnight.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Epic down in Long Beach, down in San Diego, and then Tony McKee's Metroplex gym fights down in Long Beach. Like, we'll get sometimes at like 4 o'clock could be call time. At first fight's supposed to walk at 5:30, 6 o'clock,
Doesn't happen.
It's always bumped by a half hour or so.
Yeah.
It's not amateurs work. That's fine. No big deal. 22 fights on the card.
Oh wow.
You're
That's
like,
a long day.
Like, dude, it's midnight. It's midnight. You still got the last fight still coming in.
They don't even want to fight anymore.
Dude, I've been here all day. Like, what the hell? You're like, yeah, it's for $100. And you have to do that until you get 100 bouts before you can apply for your pro license.
Okay.
You may not even get it. You apply for your pro license. Doesn't mean you're gonna get a fight. Doesn't mean you're gonna get the license. And then in my case, I got my pro license. I didn't get my first pro fight until 1 month after my license expired. I had a pro license for a year, didn't get one pro fight, not one pro fight. 1 month after it expired, so I had to pay for 2 pro licenses in the state of California before I got my first pro fight. And then from there, so it was like, it's not easy. And then you got to take some time. Work. You got to love it. You're not making any money at this. You are doing it because you love the sport. You love to be a part of it. You love this space. The other thing a lot of guys try to do is they want to be known as, I'm the judge or I'm the ref, and they want to be in the camera and they want to be seen. They want to be. I'm like, if you
should be.
Like for me, I'm trying to hide.
Yeah.
I'm from the Mark Ratner school of reffing and judging. You're not part of the show. You are not part of the show. Stay the hell out of the way.
I wouldn't want him to know who I am because someone's not going to be happy with you.
Always someone's not happy with you. It doesn't matter what goes on. Remember, there's a winner and a loser. And if you're the judge in that fight and your best friend just lost, and you think in your mind how no matter how incorrect or correct it is, you're going to be mad at that ref and those judges because they screwed your boy. It's like, why are you mad at me? I did nothing wrong. But that's when you do nothing wrong. Now imagine if you make a mistake. It's way worse. It's way worse.
I will ask you one more question. I really appreciate your time today. Do you ever get the itch for one more fight?
No, it's funny. I get asked this question all the time. No, and the reason why is because I found a passion. So I was in Hawaii teaching a seminar. Mm-hmm. TJ Thompson used to promote Icon over in Hawaii. That's why I actually fought Robbie Lawler and Jason Miller telefights on his card. Went over, and he's like, hey, I'm robbing a bank today. Do you want to come watch me rob this bank? I'm like, yeah, I'd love to watch your work. He's working on Hawaii 5-0. He's doubling a guy. He goes in to rob the bank. I stand there. This guy starts talking to me. He knows more about he's a super huge fight fan, knows more about my fights than I do. Like, he was asking me questions I couldn't even answer because I didn't have a relationship of where to put it, whatever.
Yeah.
He asked me if I want to work, it's like a Tuesday. He asked me if I want to work on like the Thursday or Friday. I'm like, sure, I'll go work. So I show up thinking I'm going to be an extra on Hawaii 5-0. I come in and I'm doing stunts. And I was like, what? And then I do my first couple of gags and I have my first day. I get my first check. All goes to the union because you got to join the union. So it's all union. I get nothing for my first five or six jobs. But I was like, this is it, man. Like, this is it. I get lit on fire. I get hit by cars. I get shot through windows.
That's awesome.
I've been thrown from a third-story window into a bunch of boxes, and then I end up in a dumpster. So the edit makes me look like I landed in a dumpster. So I have to jump in the dumpster from like 10 feet, but I've just jumped out the window from 30 feet, landed on the.
That's awesome.
It's like, for me, it's great. I spent a week up in Big Bear, which is a ski resort here in California, shooting SEAL team. I'm hanging out with Max Thurriott, Dave Baran. I'm hanging out with AJ Buckley. Like, these are buddies of mine. These are friends of mine.
That's
and we're
awesome.
running around the woods shooting at each other and blowing off explosions and doing. I mean, it's amazing. It's great stuff. And so people are like, hey, do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? I'm like, I have a number.
Mm-hmm.
I have a number. My wife knows what that number is. If somebody approaches me and goes, hey, we want you to fight, whatever, bare knuckle boxing, or this MMA promotion wants you to come fight, or whatever. If they come to me and go, yeah, here's the number, this is what we're willing to pay you, then I can make the adjustment and go one more fight. But I'm not worth that much money. The number that I need to get for me to fight, I'm not worth half that much.
Yeah.
It's because it's all about who's going to watch, who's going to buy the pay-per-view, who's going to buy seats, who's going to buy beer, who's going to buy nachos. Like, that's what it's all about. I don't have that value. So it's like, there's no way anyone's going to ask me to fight. Anybody does, it's like, you can't even. We've gone through, hey, it'd be great for you to do this, like this bare knuckle boxing thing. Okay, that'd be great. We want you to do this. Here's the opponent. Blah, here's the blah, here's the blah. I'm like, hey, all that's great, but until you start talking about money, none of this makes any sense.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And then the numbers they give you, you're like, yeah, man, I can't even. I can make that on one day on set. Like, I don't need to even train. Like, I'm not gonna take 6 weeks to train for this. To make what I make on a day anyway. It doesn't matter. So I make my day rate.
And like Tyson said, you don't something about getting punched in the face if you don't have to.
Everybody's got a game plan until you get punched in the face.
Yeah, so
as long as you get punched in the face, you don't have to.
Exactly. I really appreciate your time today. It was awesome talking about the judging. That was a topic I know my fans would want to hear. So I really appreciate all this. So
my pleasure.
All right.
Hit us up again whenever you want to have me back on again.
Absolutely, anytime. So maybe we'll do some fight predictions.
Perfect. Yeah, love it.
That'd be good. Awesome. Thanks, brother.
Thanks so much. Take care.